The other day I put out this post I don't know if you've seen it on my Instagram where I was like, and this is for y'all too, chat. Let me know in the chat.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna post.
Do y'all feel like artists should be responsible for being a positive, or should artists embrace the responsibility of being a role model in the sense that it comes with the fame and the notoriety and the influence?
Yeah, I think.
Or do you feel like they have the ability to remove themselves from that and say, I'm just an artist, I'm not a role model, don't look up to me, I'm gonna be a horrible person, or whatever the case may be?
That's a cold place to be in because it depends on what your message is also in your creativity, what type of creative person you are.
For sure.
I think overall there is a responsibility that comes with being promoted to the masses, because if you're a person of morals and you care about society and what you put out there, you know how it's received and consumed.
Yeah.
Then I think you would understand it like you have that responsibility. But I don't think we should fault the celebrities and people that are just artists in that space if they have fuck ups as much, because they didn't ask for that part to be what it does come with it, but I don't think it actually should change your, unless you're just a sick individual, of course. But like, I don't think their personal shit should control what their initial goal was, their artistry, you know what I mean, for lack of better words. But there is a responsibility if you're aware that you know what music does to the youth. So speaking about music specifically, exactly. If you're aware of what it does and how it can just subconsciously program you, and that's why a lot of these people are influenced the way they are now, is because of music. You would be careful with your message and take more pride in being a role model.
So I feel like I agree with you in the sense of they shouldn't be faulted for a fuck up or not necessarily upholding that standard, because everybody's human, right? Nobody in this motherfucker perfect.
I mean, LeBron's kind of got off scot-free.
Everybody,
he one of them people that
we all not perfect.
That's true.
Everybody doing something.
You got something behind the scenes, nigga.
Everybody doing something or did something that somebody else wouldn't agree with. Okay, so it's like that's across the board. We human,
whether it's public
right?
or not.
But I do feel like, as artists, because to your point, the music is so impactful, and the light that artists are put in to the youth is so influential that it goes back to that, with great power comes great responsibility. So therefore, once you head that way, you are automatically accepting everything that comes with heading that way.
100%.
So therefore, you're responsible to uphold what comes with heading that way. And I don't think
that's still unfair, though.
It is unfair, but you chose that. Nobody pushed you and told you to go there.
But that's based off of a saying.
But no, in the sense of like, music, right? Almost every artist who chooses music was forced to do music. That was a choice.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So if you're doing music, you chose to do music. I mean, some people gonna say that was my only way out, blah, 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 but reality, you had choices.
You still had a choice. You didn't have to
go in the
studio.
That. So therefore, whenever you make that choice, you're choosing everything that comes with that choice. And
who's to say what comes with that? Is it just like a typical package of when you're a rapper, this is what comes with being a rapper? That's unfair.
Well, influence comes with being a rapper. That's guaranteed.
Okay, I agree.
And with influence comes responsibility to me to be a positive influence within the youth and your community, right? So if you're choosing to omit that responsibility, I don't agree with that. And I think that
if you omit it completely.
If you're saying like, I'm not responsible for being a positive impact on these little niggas,
I'm just going to talk about shoot 'em up, this bang bang. I don't give a fuck what happened.
Like your content of your music could be what it is, whatever. I don't necessarily agree, but I also respect art enough to be like, in a sense, sometimes that's entertainment, because I make conceptual songs that ain't real. That's not about a real story. So I can respect somebody else making a shoot 'em up song that's not real. So I gotta respect that.
You can respect it, but that goes to that line what I'm talking about of like, that's not, you don't have to make that type of music.
True. But I also think like you can, all right, think about it in this sense, right? I could be a movie director and make Set It Off, or I could make, I don't know, what's that one with Chris Brown and Ice Cube's son, Den of Thieves or whatever,
Yeah, okay.
or all that type of shit where niggas is killing niggas and robbing and stealing whatever, and still be a positive impact on my community in the sense that my art is that.
Unless you're authentic, because that's
But I'm
acting.
also exactly, but a lot of
Essentially,
music has become that too, though.
Yes, it is very.
You know what I'm
performative.
saying?
It's
So
very performative.
I'm just saying, kind of differentiating that and taking on the responsibility of like, I can create the art however I create the art, fair.
Right.
I don't. Me personally, I think. I think the art should be more true to the artist, but that's just me, right?
But again, that artist can be influenced by
other people's stories.
Yeah, that's
For
what I'm
sure,
saying.
fair.
So then, who's to say how authentic it is?
Exactly, but also
That's what I battle with when I see new people coming out. Is like the authenticity, whether it's what you're talking about, not necessarily the content,
Yeah.
but the authenticity of the artist and what you're portraying. Like, is that true to you, or is that just performative for the sake of what it has to be a rapper?
shit. Half the time is fucking performance.
That's what I feel like,
For
and it's
sure.
like, but that comes from an influence somewhere that is, I wouldn't say necessarily negative, but it's like, you know, it's rare that you see the artist come up that has the look and the mindset of like a J. Cole, where they don't care about jewelry, don't care about their sweatpants and Crocs, and
Yeah.
it's rare that you see the up and coming artist not care about the flashy, glorified trophies per se that you
For sure.
aspire to get as a kid or whatever. So it's like those artists that are not into that, they're also kind of like, they're harder to find because like people, that's the
'Cause
rapper
'cause
package image that I
It
need
goes,
to.
I mean, it's social media, right? Like, if I post something saying fuck somebody, it's gonna get way more likes than posting something I'm saying I love somebody.
Yes, you are
You know
correct.
what I mean? So that goes just across the board. But that's, to my point, I think where the problem lies, because artists who have such an influence aren't embracing the positive role model responsibility enough. Because if
It's
all right,
watered
think
down.
about-
It's
think
watered
about
down.
it-
It's
Think about
watered
it
down.
if we had, let's say who are the top 5 biggest artists in the world in any genre. We probably got Beyonce, Taylor Swift, motherfucking
Whether nobody want to say it or not, Drake.
Drake. Let's
Kanye
say
would've probably been in
what's
there,
my
but-
Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Right,
Taylor.
like-
You said Taylor Swift.
I don't know. I'm just naming 5.
Katy
Justin
Perry,
Bieber.
yeah, okay.
Right, and let's say like, granted, they give back, I'm sure, and they probably do things within their community, but is it shown to their audience? Right, and not necessarily like film it and hey, blah blah blah, but I'm just saying like openly embracing that responsibility of being a positive role model. I think because the world is trendy.
Right.
Right. So if motherfuckers see that, they're gonna feel like that's what it's supposed to be, too. You feel what I'm saying? Like they're gonna be like, okay, I see Justin Bieber talking about this in his music, or all right, think about like Kai Cenat. I think Kai Cenat is probably one of the greatest examples of we made the right motherfucker famous.
Yeah, I seen that, and
You know
I
what I'm
feel
saying?
like
He was just feeding some kids and shit, paying for meals.
Yeah.
He just bought his homies a house. Like,
Right.
granted, people do buy people stuff all the time, but like, I think he's so open about it and showcasing it, and you can tell that Kai he does what he does, and he tries to be a good person.
Right. It's very important.
It's apparent.
But that image right there doesn't go along with a lot of these rappers' image. I mean,
True.
But
True.
it's once they reach a certain place and it's like a business move, or maybe now that I'm around other people, they might influence me to do more of like give backs and shit like that. But initially, that doesn't go with the rapper image or like the package of like a lot of some of these songs and the way some of these rappers coming out with this tougher image. You don't see a lot of the Kai Cenat styles behaviors.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I salute it, but I feel like it's harder to come by. It's harder to find those people, and if it is, it's like either laughed at or it's not broadcasted to the masses as much.
Exactly. That's really what it boils down to.
But why would they want to practice? Why would they want to?
Why would they want
peace?
motherfuckers to be happy?
Yeah, why would they
like?
want niggas to be peaceful?
Why
And
they want motherfuckers to embrace each other out here?
Especially in rap, where rap is
It
more.
was
better
built
wa-
off the me versus you.
Right.
For
Yeah,
sure.
they want the competitive battle, and in the sake of business, in a lot of cases, it's like it heightens the business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want conflict. They want who's the best one-on-one, whoever.
But I ain't gonna lie, like I believe, and this is me personally, I think that competition should be completely wiped away from music.